night of our Guiding Star series. An entire year has passed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you for listening. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you for sitting and taking your time out. You see, many a times we do not see the reward of our actions, but never doubt the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in which He has mentioned that He will give the recompense to those who have done good in this world, in the hereafter. My brothers and elders, in light of the upcoming beautiful Ramadan, tonight's short khatira will be dedicated towards that. And mainly because us as Muslims and as believers and as mu'mineen, we need to realize that we must utilize and use this month of Ramadan to excel and to progress, especially when it comes to controlling our nafs, our desires. Because in the month of Ramadan, if you and I can control ourselves and refrain from something that is halal, for example, drinking, for example, eating, which is perfectly fine. But in the month of Ramadan, that becomes haram. Drinking becomes haram and eating becomes haram. So therefore, if you and I can control our nafs and desires in the month of Ramadan to refrain from halal, then outside of the month of Ramadan, without a doubt, inevitably we will be able to control ourselves when it comes to staying away from haram. Is everyone understanding? Right? So one of the many purposes of why the month of Ramadan has been prescribed upon us, because it also teaches us discipline and self-control and to have control over our desires and our nafs. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran in regards to the nafs that it has been categorized into three portions. The first one is an-nafs al-ammara. Ammara comes from the word amar, which means to order someone. So nafs ammara is that nafs of an individual which is constantly telling him and commanding him and ordering him to do evil and to do wrong. Right? وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. So this is the first one. The second type of nafs, which is also mentioned in the Quran, it is known as an-nafsul lawwama. وَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالنَّفْسِ الْلَوَّامَةِ. Lawwama comes from the word lawm, which means to blame. So it is that nafs of a person that whenever he or she commit a sin, then later on they have that understanding and they have that regret, and they start to blame themselves that why did I do X, Y, and Z? Why did I not wake up for Fajr? Why did I not perform my Salatul Isha? Why did I do this sin? I should have just stayed away from it. But at the moment when they were committing that sin, maybe they did not have these thoughts, but later on they start to blame themselves. So that is known as an-nafs lawwama. The third nafs, which is also mentioned in the Quran, an-nafs al-mutma'inna, it is that nafs which is totally content and happy with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whether that person is driving a broken 1999 Corolla, or he's driving a 2025 Mercedes or Maserati, it does not affect his heart. It doesn't matter. Many a times a person is climbing the ladder of success, and then all of a sudden he's brought down, right? They suffer a significant loss in the business, right? They lose their house. But the person who has a nafs mutma'inna, they will not be affected by it. Why? Because they realize that this is the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my brothers and elders, the month of Ramadan has once again risen upon us. As Shaykh Junaid mentioned, that we need to make dua to Allah that Allah Ta'ala keeps us alive until tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, when the Taraweeh starts and when the fasting starts. So our focus in Ramadan should be on these three categories of our nafs. Now, you can judge your own self. I can judge my own self. All of us sitting here Probably none of us sitting here have a nafs mutmainna, right? Many a times we complain. Many a times we're not happy with the decree of Allah Azza wa Jal. So therefore, in the month of Ramadan, for those of us whose nafs and whose mind constantly tells him to do wrong, to do evil, to commit haram, to commit evil, they need to work on themselves and take it one step farther, which is an-nafs al-lawwama. And then those who have an-nafs al-lawwama, they need to work on themselves and make and transform their nafs into an-nafs mutma'inna. Now there's another fourth type of nafs, but it is not mentioned in the Quran. It is known as an-nafs al-mulhama. Alhama yulhimu, ilham means for someone to receive a divine intuition. So for example, right, for those of us who were present during the series of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, many a times he hired and he fired governors based on his divine intuition, right? Meaning, it is that nafs of a person that he has become so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the decision that he makes are usually corresponding to the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So like for example, at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the men and the women were entering upon one another, and hijab was not fard and mandatory at that time. So Umar radiallahu anhu did not like this. So what did he say to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam? That there should be some rules and regulations, that the men and the women should not be mixing freely and etc. But at that time, the verses of hijab weren't revealed. So then later on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verses of hijab. So in his heart, the ilham or the divine intuition was already placed. Many a times a person is able to make a correct decision because of how close they are to Allah Azza wa Jal. And usually, many a times that decision that they make is the correct one. So that is why many a times people, they go up to the elderly great shuyukh that are still alive, right? And they ask them to make dua. They ask mashwara and they consult with them that what should I do, which direction should I head towards. So these were a few types of the nufus that I wanted to share with all of you. My brothers and elders, there was a man by the name of Thabit. By the name of Thabit. He was a very poor individual. And upon an occasion, he's walking and he saw a tree that was reclining towards him, and he was able to grasp on to the fruits of that tree. So instantly, due to the severity of the hunger, he plucked an apple from that tree and he ate it. Later on, his mind and his nafs is informing him that why did I do this? I ate from the tree of a Muslim brother or sister without their explicit permission. So therefore Allah Azza wa Jal is going to hold me accountable, right? Nafs lawama, right? Now he's blaming himself that why did I do that action that I was not supposed to do to begin with. He finally found the owner of that tree, and the owner said to him that on the day of Qiyamah, I will not forgive you. On the day of Qiyamah, I will grab your collar with my hands and I will hold you accountable in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Thabit rahimahullah became very scared and he said to him, I just ate one apple, right? Now look at the punishment that I'm going to receive for this act of mine. So Thabit rahimahullah said to the owner of the tree, listen brother, whatever it is that you want me to do, I will do it. But just forgive me. So the man started to think and he said to him, okay, I have one condition, that you marry my daughter. So Thabit rahimahullah became very happy and he said, wow, now I get to have a wife also, right? All the single men over here are probably going to search for a tree with apples right now after the bayan, right? So now, he said to him, but my daughter is blind, she is unable to walk, she's physically unstable, and she's paralyzed, she's unable to hear. So, but on the first night after the nikah, Thabit rahimahullah, when he first saw his wife, he was shocked. She's able to see, she's able to walk, she's able to hear, she's not mute, she's not deaf. He said to her, but your father told me something else about you. She said, for years, for a very long time, my father has been looking for someone with taqwa. So when my father saw that you are so worried and you were asking for forgiveness because of the hunger that you felt and you plucked the apple from the tree without his permission, so my father said that you are the man. So when he said that I am blind, he meant to say that I am blind from looking at haram, I am deaf from listening to haram, right? My legs are not functioning, meaning my legs will not be walking towards haram. So the boy that came out of this marriage was none other than Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. Now Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, we all know that he was extremely rich. He was born into a rich family and he was very rich. But you see, the reason why I'm mentioning it is because we need to understand the nafs that they had. It was just something unimaginable, that how much self-control did these people have, how much these people shunned the dunya away, and they only made Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the deen Islam close to them. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, even though he was a scholar, he was a leader of the community, since he was rich, he used to loan people money, of course without interest. Now Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, upon an occasion, he's walking with one of his companions, Shaykh bin Ibrahim al-Balkhi, and this narration has been narrated by Shaykh Ibrahim al-Balkhi rahimahullah. He says that as me and Imam Abu Hanifa were walking, a man from the community saw us and he took the opposite direction and he started to ignore us. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah started to walk fast behind the man, and he said to him, why did you ignore me? He said to him, please forgive me, because I borrowed money from you and I'm unable to pay it back. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah said to him that for the sake of some dirhams and dinars, you left out the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, which was salam, and you ignored me and Shaykh bin Ibrahim al-Balkhi. Go, O Shaykh, you are a witness that I have forgiven this debt of his. He does not need to pay me the money back. But never ever leave out the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah then said to the man also that, my beloved brother in Islam, I want you to forgive me. So the man is now confused, that I borrowed money from you and I'm not able to pay that money back, and you did me a favor by forgiving the debt, and now you are asking me for forgiveness? What is this? So Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah said to him that because when you saw me, right, the thoughts that came into your mind and that nervousness that was created from within, inside you, that caused you harm. I should have forgiven this debt a long time ago. So therefore, forgive me for being the reason of causing inconvenient thoughts in your mind. Subhanallah. So these were our great pious predecessors, right? Nowadays when we loan money, what do? We call the brother every single day, right? We don't realize what the difficulty they might be going through. So when we read the stories of our pious elders, of our pious predecessors, my brothers and elders, we find one thing in common, and that is that they always worked on self-purification and self-rectification. They weren't worried about others. More than others, they were first and foremost worried about themselves and purifying their nafs. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant me and all of us the ability and the tawfiq to act upon whatever was just said. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. And if Allah Azza wa Jal wills, we will continue the series after the month of Ramadan. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Brothers, assalamu alaikum. Very important message to vacate the masjid, please, and pray your sunnah at home. Brother Hamza has to clean the carpet, shampoo it, and have it ready for Fajr, inshallah. So if you can help him by praying the sunnah and with it at home, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan.